Plus, we've got what's making news tomorrow, as you can imagine, most of the papers dealing with the federal budget. In fact, why don't we have a look at just a couple that have already come through. Let me show you the front page of tomorrow's Herald Sun in Melbourne. They've got a rather pensive-looking treasurer on the front page with that sort of, are you buying this expression? They are calling
at great expense, we're buying it, I believe. They're
calling him charmed and dangerous. He's trying to charm us with a $300 power bill rebate. But dangerous, Liz, because the debt is going to hit $1 trillion and keep going up.
Indeed, he meant it when he said in his budget speech this evening, this is a budget for the forthcoming decades. Yeah, because they'll be paying it off. We'll be paying it off for decades. Another front page splash on the Daily Telly. What's up, Doc? Well, jobless Australians up, grocery prices up, government debt up, overseas migrants, Greens handouts, and Labor's total tax rate also up. I mean, is there anything good to say about this budget, Caleb? Help us out here. Is there one positive?
Well, I suppose the one positive, if you're Jim Chalmers, is that it is very much an election budget. You know, he tried his hardest not to offend anyone, but of course the problem with that is that there is nothing much in there to deal with the real problems we have. And we know that, you know, this night, budget night, is the one night of the year where the Treasurer gets his day in the sun. He gets to stand up for half an hour and tell all the lies and spin he can fit into that 30 minutes. So I sat down tonight to watch Chalmers give his speech and, well, I wasn't very heartened because within 30 seconds he'd started, as Liz just alluded to, with the cliches.
This is a budget for the here and now, and it's a budget for the decades to come.
Well, it's not really a budget for the decades to come. It's barely a budget for the next year to come. But of course, what they're banking on is that we will have an interest rate drop within the next year or so, and they can go off to an early election, sell the election as well. You know, we've done the hard yards, we got inflation down, and we need your help to keep on going. So, of course, the main theme tonight was nothing else but cost of living.
Cost of living, 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 cost of living.
And of course, one of the major planks of cost of living measures was one that we heard about months ago, but Mr Chalmers, or Dr Chalmers, as I should say, spent a lot of time talking about tonight, and that is, of course, the reworked Stage 3 tax cuts.
Delivers a tax cut for every taxpayer. Our new tax cuts for Middle Australia, all 13.6 million taxpayers will get a tax cut, a bigger tax cut than they would have under the previous government. Our tax cuts are better for families and communities, women and young people, just as every Australian taxpayer will get a tax cut.
I mean, no mention, of course, of the fact that he redrew Stage 3 tax cuts, so many taxpayers are actually getting less of a tax cut than they were originally promised when this government was elected on the promise, by the way, that they would not fiddle with Stage 3 tax cuts. But Dr Chalmers pointed out a group of workers who he believed would benefit especially from the changes.
This is about rewarding the hard work of our nurses and teachers and truckies and tradies.
I'd love to know how long he spent working on that line, or, you know, the nurses and teachers, the truckies and the tradies. Well, a lot of tradies, of course, earn more than $150,000, particularly if you're a construction worker, and those workers are getting less of a tax cut than they were originally promised by Labor. Well done.